Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air.
Okay.
Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air.
All right.
Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air.
Okay.
Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Where to am I from? Come on.
What's up, everybody? Oh, mic's low. What the fuck? Give me 1 sec, guys. It just does that weird shit again. Test. There we go. Don't know why it does that. For some reason, when I shut the computer down, does all of its stuff, it keeps resetting to a default, and I forget almost every day to do that. I have changed the default. It just doesn't want to take something in the software, I'm sure. Welcome to the show. It's going to be a good day shift today. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff has been kind of popping off lately. A lot of really cool stuff. First thing I want to do is, I know we don't have a ton of people in here today, but we do have some. So Toxic Angel is making an appearance. Good to see you out there, my friend. It's been a while, actually, since I think I've seen you in my chat. Well, actually, I saw you the other day, but I don't think you stayed very long. So Loud is out there from North Carolina. Good to see you. I will be over in North Carolina very shortly for a match in Rockingham, or near Rockingham. The music. So all the music I use is part of a service that I subscribe to, and I just go through it randomly and find stuff I like. It's called Epidemic Sound, and if you're a creator and you don't want to get copyrighted all the time for using music that belongs to somebody else, or you don't have license for it, then I suggest that you just pay them every month a little bit and move on with life. Works for me. And so that's cool. Invisible Hope is up in the house today. That's awesome. And so we're gonna get some stuff going on today. I know that there's a lot of people out there reviewing the debate between Owen Schroyer and Andrew Wilson, or the debate between Rachel and Brian Shapiro. The debate between Brian Shapiro and Rachel was comical, is funny, not particularly interesting to me because Rachel just destroyed him. Brian Shapiro lacks the ability to use logic, and therefore, much like many other people in this space that think they're debaters, he's not a debater. He is absolutely just a jack-off and not worth watching, in my opinion. And but Owen Schroyer was a great debate to watch. I didn't catch the beginning of it. I came in about mid-debate, and it really was a great debate. If you are a debate aficionado, what Andrew and Owen were able to do is you have to understand they're basically both the same person. They both believe more or less the same things. The difference is Owen right now is very disillusioned and unhappy with Trump and the cabinet and the government as a whole. I've been there before. I'm frustrated with various presidents and or their policies and Congress and all of that. So I get it. I understand it. All I can say is I think that Andrew handled it pretty well. I think that Owen is a good dude, but at the same time, I think that his arguments were good, but he ended up having to concede a ton to Andrew. Because Andrew was right, and that's what happens in a good debate is you debate, and then when somebody else is right, you concede the point and move on and give your position. And unfortunately, what we have most of the time these days is we have a lack of ability of many people to understand that and understand logic. And so we have a bunch of debate bros out there that think they understand debate, but they actually don't. They really suck at it, and they really can't. They really can't do much but flail around like children. And unfortunately, they're there every day. I suggest you ignore those people, but I understand it's hard. So I'll leave it at that. But if someone's not making a logical argument and all they really do is try and dunk or dick slap somebody, that's not a good, proper debate. It's funny, it's comedy. It's not a proper debate. That's not up for discussion. That's just the way it is. Okay. But you can do, again, Sometimes this stuff is really funny. I think it's funny. I enjoy it. I have a good time with it. But the reality is that it's not a proper debate. And when those people are going for the dunks and going for the low blows and all of that all that really does in reality is make them look worse. Okay. Mr. says, in my personal opinion, on Owen, it's since he broke away from the info wars, he's trying to find his new identity and jumped on the anti-Israel trend. That's probable. He obviously doesn't know the proper phrases for the bots. Yeah, I can agree with that. And that's probably really true. I don't pay that whole lot of attention to him. I'm really just speaking more to the debate last night. And I think that anybody that is a debate aficionado that enjoys a good verbal jousting, verbal judo, wordsmithing. I think that was a great debate last night. I think it was really, really good. I think Owen made some points. Andrew made some points. Owen ended up having to concede a lot of ground. I think Andrew clearly won. I don't think it was a curb stomping. Certainly it's fair to say that it is, but I just don't think it is. I'm not going to argue with people who say, oh, it's a curb stomping. Yeah. Owen had to give a lot of ground for sure. So we've got a lot of stuff going on today. We've had just a tremendous amount of nonsense out here on the mean streets of the YouTube land, YouTube streets. And I really don't, to me, it doesn't matter, but to other people, I see that there's this, there's a really ridiculous bunch of bullshit going on right now. That's, I don't think it's very helpful. I also have to clarify. I think everyone watching me understands this, but let me make this really clear. What I do on my channel is I have a show where I talk to people about concepts, news, political ideals, social constructs, social ideas, and other things like that. Might talk business, we might talk finance, we may talk any number of things. Not really, this is not a debate show. When I do the nighttime show, generically, they're also not debate shows. If I do a debate show, it's labeled as a debate show. Because this is my show. I'm not here to entertain other people's ideas or objectivity. I'm not. This is the Continental. No business gets done here. Not even by me. So I go to other channels. This has been the same for 2.5 years. I don't know why people all of a sudden are like weirded out. I go to other channels. I'll go to CTs. I'll go to Flow State. I'll go to OGs. I'll go to other channels and get on. They have panels. I don't usually do panels. They have panels, and I can jump on those panels and have fun that way. What's up, Agrillapolis? Good to see you. Abe Dinkus, how are you, sir? It is interesting indeed. So this has been my modus operandi ever since I came here into the mean YouTube streets, into this world, into this microcosm of society. So if you see me somewhere and I'm causing problems, or I'm acting a little differently, or maybe I'm saying things that need to be said, so what? Because that's what I do. That's what those panels are for. Those panels are not for me to go and do serious shit on. I mean, I can be serious on them, but if I go over to OG's and somebody's over there and we're having a little back and forth, it's fun. I hope, Abe, I hope you're doing well, man. I last time I actually spoke to you, I think you were up a couple of weeks ago and you were having some issues. I hope you're doing much better. So again, I kind of got criticized a little bit because I do go into these other spaces and I'll say shit that I really mean, or I'll just be a little bit of a dick. And they were weird about that. And I'm like, look, this is how this happens. And I tried to explain yesterday that this is a Continental. This is a safe space. You can come up here and say anything. I'm not going to argue with you. This isn't a debate bro channel. Never has been. Well, we do debates, but they're very specialized. Very specialized. But it's not a debate bro channel. I don't bring panels up here and have 20 people up here yapping like lapdogs. It's not what happens here. If you're looking for that, I can suggest other channels. Flow State's a great one. I suggest everybody go to Flow State when he's on. Even though, Flow State and I've had our differences in the past, we are friends now. And, I don't like everything he says or does, just like any other friend. But he is a good dude at the end of the day. So, all right, guys, so let's launch into the show here. Sorry, right out of the gate, leave my phone on. There we go. See if there's anything important. No, not really. All right. Yeah, I mean, look, Flow State and I, we were at war a little bit. Resto and I were really at war. And a lot of that stems from one specific action that I did not institute, I did not instigate, and that's fine. But if you came over here looking for all that kind of drama, I'm sorry, it's not what I really do here. We do that elsewhere. Business can be conducted elsewhere. All right, so look, we've got a lot to talk about out there in the world today that's actually matters. My bullshit doesn't matter, and to be honest, your bullshit doesn't either. Not in the grand scheme of things. So let's just roll into what does matter a little bit. At the end of the day, we need to talk about a few things here. We've got oil, which was trending down, is now coming back up. Looks like we might break 117 a barrel if we haven't already. And Supreme Court is, very busy these days. Right now, they're telling Louisiana that there can be no more racial gerrymandering. And in my own area, we have a local immigration helper, guide, whatever the fuck they call him, is being investigated for scamming her own community, which I think happens a lot. I think that happens a lot. We're going to get into that in a few minutes. And there's a quiet epidemic, if you will, of young men saying no to college. They just don't want to do it. My mic is peaking. It sounds like my mic is peaking. Guys, am I too hot on the mic? I can turn the mic down. I do have it turned down, but I can turn it down further. Somebody give me a mic check. Mic check. Am I hot? Too hot? Too cranked. All right, I'll crank it down just a tickle. I'll crank it down just a tickle. Oh, hells yeah. All right, let's turn on the auto and see if that helps. Does that help, guys? Testing 1 2. Is it better now? There's a lag there between when I do stuff and you hear stuff. Testing 1 2 3 4. Testing. No peaking now? All right, great. Well, let's get into it, all right? So Hormuz is gone nuts. Like, first of all, is it not funny to anybody that some place that we haven't ever heard of in our lives, we've never talked about this place, is all of a sudden we know everything in the fucking world about it? Literally, you can't walk down the street in any city of any size and not run into somebody who is now an expert on the Strait of Hormuz. 100%. It's insane, right? So we have been in this war a total of 7 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, 7 weeks. And the entire world now is an expert on the Strait of Hormuz and the politics affecting it. And to be honest with you, nobody's here is winning except oil speculators, which, by the way, I wish I had done. Iran's ports are blockaded. Now, I don't know if you understand what that means, but that means that we have armed vessels. This is something I think a lot of Democrats have a problem like visualizing. You have armed vessels blocked in a line that when these ships try and leave, our ships say, no, you cannot leave. If you try and leave, we're going to torpedo you. We are going to sink your ship. That's how that works. And it's basically turned the Strait of Hormuz into a floating parking lot. We talked about this the other day. Iran actually is running out of room to store the oil stocks they have on hand. Literally every tanker in their bay, in their shipyards, every tanker's full. Basically they're out of space. They have more oil literally than they can get rid of, even when they're sending it over land. Now, this is what this is what Iran thought was going to happen. And that is that they would be able to get a ship or two out once in a while, and the overland route, the pipelines and the trucks and all of that, I think that Iran thought that they were going to be able to compensate for the lockdown Strait of Hormuz by being able to sneak around the embargo, which is now a blockade, and go overland. Now, the overland route is not working. It's absolutely not working. And now you've got all of this. They're at capacity. They're maxed out. They're totally full. Now, everybody, Trump, China, Pete Hegseth, Russia, everybody is telling Iran, bro, get smart, be smart. Don't drag this out. Get smart soon. Pete Hegseth's up on the Hill admitting that the tab is already $25 billion, which isn't actually that much when we consider the Department of Education has an annual budget of $800 billion. To be honest with you, $25 billion spent fucking up Iran is not that much. I mean, that's a drop in the bucket, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just be real about it. Let's keep it real, as they say down on the South Side. Keep it real. Yeah, keep it real. All right. And so the Strait of Hormuz is just really fucked up right now, and there's nothing that's going to be done about it. Understand that I don't care what news article you read. I don't care how many times you get on an internet forum and start pissing all over each other, talking about how you believe this and you believe that. Fact is, nothing is moving out of the Strait of Hormuz. They can't get rid of the oil. It is driving oil prices up. That sucks. And now we're hearing about all of the fertilizer stuff. We'll get into that probably at a later date. We'll see. Correct. They have a sink on site order for any ship dropping mines, and we have all access. The guys in the chat are on it. So hold on. You asked me a question. What do I think the repercussions of OPEC? Or of the UAE leaving OPEC? I think it's been coming a while. Look, and I keep talking about this all the time. These Arab nation states have really only been able to survive as OPEC because they really control the flow of oil to various places. Now, Trump has broken that system. I keep telling people this, and everybody, we have a lot of supposedly smart people who are in denial about how Trump has broken the system. Trump has locked down how the money flows. What this basically means is for a long time, OPEC has been able to turn a blind eye to oil shipments from Iran or, here when Kuwait was against us, they would turn a blind eye to this oil movement and sales, and they were taking kickbacks, and they were obviously making billions of dollars doing this. Now, if they stay part of OPEC, there's no advantage to it anymore. I don't think that there's any advantage to it at all. And I think that the UAE sees this coming. And I think that, again, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, or Bahrain, whatever it is, Emirates, there are, I think, 8 countries that are going to be left in charge of the Middle East as its enforcement arm. If you are part of OPEC at the same time, that could be a conflict of interest, and also it could get really dirty. So I think honestly, I think you're going to see. I think OPEC's. I think its days are numbered. I really do, and I've said that for a year. Just nobody believed me. So, we'll have to see. I mean, Russia is scaling back the Victory Day parade because of Ukraine drone threats. France is telling its citizens to get out of Mali. London just had 2 Jewish men stabbed in what police are calling a terrorist incident. And the Iranian rial, which is their money, is at a record low of 1.8 to the dollar. 1.8 to the dollar. And that's because they can't move any of their oil out. And they can't backdoor sell it to OPEC. They can't backdoor move it to the Emirates. They can't get enough of it overland into the Turkish Syria region. They really can't make this happen right now. So this is what you're seeing, guys. This is exactly the problem. And Trump understood this. Everybody was talking bullshit about Trump and how he didn't understand how this all worked. And he's the only one he's not the only one that did, but he was the only one that understood it on this level. And I've been saying for weeks now that you have to really pay attention to what Trump actually did. He did not go in and lock down Venezuela. He could have. A lot of people expected that to happen. That's what Biden would have done. That's what Obama would have done. No, he went into Venezuela and said, "You here are the oil refineries, here are the oil wells. This whole system, give it back to the people who owned it before." What's his name? I'm drawing a blank, but before it was robbed from them, and Chavez. Before that happened. And then, so he gives it back to the original owners. But what he did is he required that every drop of oil be accounted for. Every shipment of oil is accounted for. And every dollar, dinar, drachma, all of it, yen, every lira, every pound, every euro, everything. It all goes through a chain, a single chain, birth to death, so that we can track the money. We can understand who has this. Because for years, the reason oil costs have really gone up is because you have these countries siphoning off money to pay for terrorism, to pay for things that we don't want paid for, to bribe politicians, to invest in in illicit drug industries and drug smuggling into other countries. And this is on a national level. And we haven't been able to end any of this, because how can you end an industry that's supported by billions of dollars run through national outlets, through political channels? You can't. The answer is you cannot do that. So what Trump has done is really smart. Trump has gone in and said, you are going to do it this way. Period. And if you don't do it this way, we're going to come over and we're going to lock down your harbor. We're going to take your ship. We're going to board your ship at sea. We're going to take it. And until you agree and follow along, we don't care. And basically, by doing that, you have to think here, just use your brain. What has he effectively done? He's effectively bypassed the UN, and he's effectively bypassed NATO. I'm not wrong, Sage, and you know it. But that's okay. You can keep living in your dream world where Trump is the enemy. But this is exactly how this is going to work. And it's exactly what it's going to work in, that's exactly how it's going to work in Saudi. And I do agree with you that, Spaceman, who said it? Where was I gotta find it? It was a comment that Spaceman said. It was really, really good. Oh no, it was Mr. So they have no regulations on prices, so this will cause prices to go down. Well, they will have regulation on prices, but it's not price, but where the oil can go, and that will also put in controls of their own as well. They can sell it at a different cost, but they can't sell it through illicit means. So. Abe found that funny. I don't know what he found funny, but he found something funny. All right. And again, we have all of this other stuff going on in the world that nobody really cares about. Yeah, he is a non-Spurg. He is a leftist, though. He might be a socialist. I can't decide. I haven't really talked to him enough. I guess bottom line is that there are people out there saying that this is escalation for escalation's sake. It's the predictable result of decades of half measures, right? Sanctions, which was just theater, right? We didn't really sanction them. They really didn't take their money. We pretended that the mullahs would ever play nice. Like they just weren't going to ever. We know that now, I think. So, yeah. I mean, look, energy prices are already biting our wallets at the pump. I mean, I've seen it. I mean, I'm paying more than I have for gas. I'm gonna go fill up the boat maybe tomorrow, and that's gonna be big. That's gonna be a big bill. You know, places where I'm at, I fully if the blockade continues to drag on, and Iran just continues to sit on a bunch of oil that they can't get rid of, which doesn't actually hurt us that much, but in the global market, it drives up prices to some degree because we don't get that much oil from Iran, but the places that do need it. Plus, there's this mental thing where just because there's a perceived lack of oil in the market, that'll drive it up too. I kind of, look, if it drags on, would we be wrong to expect $5 to $6 gas in places like where I live? Probably not. Hell, California might see $15 a gallon. They might be the same as UK. Of course, that's going to cause that's going to have global effects, right? It's going to hit every supply chain. We'll see. However, at the end of the day, Trump is right to hold the line. Well, he's right to do so. The American people didn't sign up for another forever conflict on somebody else's timeline and soil. So I hope, and it does seem, that he stays on it. He keeps the boots off the ground, and he keeps pounding Iran and pushing them and pushing them and pushing them. You're going to have to write something other than wrong. Use your words. Tell me what I'm wrong about, because I'm pretty right. All right. Well, I kind of let off with this thing about Louisiana. I'm going to shift gears from the war, because my ships are still getting through. I know. I understand that. But Iranian ships are not getting through because they will get sunk. So, this week we have seen, okay, prove that, Sage. You can't link it because of the way the chat works, but one of the mods will, you're on my Discord. Go to my Discord and throw it in the waiting room. Go throw your proof in the waiting room. Because you're lying. All right. I talked earlier about Louisiana and how they're actually gerrymandering based on race. They have racial gerrymandering. I don't want to track it. I want you to give me proof. You made a statement. You made a clear statement. So give me proof. I'll put it up. If you're right, I'll put it up. But you're in my Discord. I know you are. So just go put it in, go link the articles, link the proof in the chat, in the waiting room. When you're done, I'll have a mod keep an eye on it, and they'll let me know, and I'll go grab it, and I'll put it up as soon as you do so. But you can't, and you won't, because you're lying. At any rate, so this whole thing with Louisiana, if you guys don't know, they've actually had racial gerrymandering. And we're getting gerrymandering everywhere. We got Virginia's got in a lawsuit over gerrymandering. Texas has been a lawsuit over gerrymandering. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody's gerrymandering. But this is the first time that I have heard of racial gerrymandering. It's in Louisiana. And the Supreme Court just dealt with this. I didn't know this was happening. I read an article I read a blurb about it, and then I had to look and go find the articles and look this up because I just couldn't understand what the fuck was going on with this. This was crazy. This is insane. But anyway, the Supreme Court just killed Louisiana's racial gerrymandering, which was led by Louisiana's majority black congressional map. As an unconstitutional racial gerrymandering. Sorry, I can't speak all of a sudden. I'm waiting for my proof. And so it was part of like a voting rights toolkit, I guess, basically. Voting Rights Act. It's been undone, and I didn't even know it happened. I bet you didn't either. But yeah, they just killed it 6-3 in the Supreme Court. Majority black gerrymandering. That's crazy. I did not know that happened. But anyway, the Supreme Court this week has also unanimously told New Jersey that it cannot subpoena an anti-abortion pregnancy center's donor list. Now, this has been in the news. I'm sure you've seen it, where New Jersey, the state, or probably not the state itself, probably some group in the state, bunch of weirdos, that want to go after these anti-abortion pregnancy centers that talk to people and talk them out of getting abortions and keeping the kids and all that. And these anti-abortionist, or pardon me, these abortionist people, leftists probably, and they had basically, it wasn't a law. It was that they had changed the code to allow them to subpoena the customer or client list and donor list of these anti-abortion pregnancy centers, because obviously they want to go after these people in some way. And now they're hearing arguments on ending the temporary protected status of Haitians and Syrians. And as Ghost just said, they're looking at the Virginia gerrymandering. I believe that's today as well. I think it's under Supreme Court review as well. The Supreme Court's been busy, ladies and gentlemen, busy. Mods, let me know if he posts something in the waiting room. He's not going to. I'm just telling you, he's not going to, because he's full of shit. There are ships getting through the Strait of Hormuz? Yes. Are they Iranian oil tankers? No, they are not. We literally have video of our Navy communicating with these Iranian oil tankers saying, if you move, we're going to shoot you. That I believe. Okay. All right. Meanwhile, in other news, James Comey. Yes. James Comey. You can't get rid of this guy. He's been indicted again. He's been indicted again. James Comey, once again, ladies and gentlemen, he's been indicted again. It's just funny, man. You can't make this shit up. So James Comey indicted again. I don't remember what for. I'd have to look. I didn't put it in my notes, so I'm sorry. It probably is all for show, one and Jack for all. But it's funny though, right? Like this guy just, he can't stay away. So we all know about the April 25th, just the other day, the White House Correspondents' Dinner incident. I've already talked about it a little bit. Obviously, we had the Cole Thomas Allen, the teacher from California who rushed through the checkpoint. And if you've seen the video, I don't have the video, but if you've seen the video, this guy is full on sprinting like he's getting some shit going on, and they just fucking drop his ass. Just drop his ass. Obviously, he shot a Secret Service agent in the vest. I believe that was with double-aught buckshot, but the vest saved him because it's double-aught buck's like a 38. So everybody evacuated. We've already talked about this a couple of times. The funny thing about it is that there are still people out there that think that this guy was like right to do that and all that, or they think Trump was scared. I don't think Trump stopped talking the whole time. I've seen the video. It's hard to tell because the only angle I've seen is kind of like Trump's like kind of like this. I can't. It's hard to tell, but it looks like he's still talking. Like he hears the gunshots and he's just like, whatever. Yeah. I'm going to make my point. A lot like me. You could shoot something off over there. I wouldn't care. I'll just keep talking. Mikey Balls says, believe it or not, he actually tripped and fell. I had not heard that. That's funny. And then they tackled him. Oh, that's awesome. And cuffed him. Him tripping and falling is probably the reason why he's still alive. Yes, because they were shooting at him. The video I see, he runs out of frame and they're like, these guys go to gun and they're ready to just bang. Put a lot of bang on target. Mr. says, every time that MSM tried to protect the lunatic leftist crooks, the Kirk one, every single time. Yeah, they do. Every single time. Trump thought it was a cart that fell over. Fair. That's fair. That man's got great big balls. So Sage, where's my proof, buddy? Show me the ships that have gone through. You can't, because I know what I'm talking about. This is what I do. I don't just talk shit. I talk shit professionally. And you're wrong. And you were wrong, and you're always wrong because you have a problem. You can't see straight because you have TDS, my man. You need to get over that shit. You can't see straight. You can't see that the Iranian war, it's not even a war. It's us swinging our big dick and hitting people in the head because that's what happens. That's all there is to it. I mean, I think you're a nice guy. I mean, I've had good conversations with you. However, you're just wrong. Anyway, look, basically, if you want to boil down what I was talking about earlier, the Supreme Court's finally saying that race cannot be the only factor in drawing maps. You can't say this is a black neighborhood, so we're going to put it with this other black neighborhood 30 miles away. We can't do that anymore. And that's about damn time. All of this nonsense is crazy. It is nonsense, and it's divisive. It's engineered to keep Democrats in office, which is, personally, I find offensive, but, whatever. They're also saying political violence, whether it's from the right or the left or some video game to rage pipeline, is a cancer on society, and we need to do something about it, right? Like, we can't just sit here and wring our hands. Oh my gosh. Oh, what do we do? Oh my gosh. What do we do? One dumbass with a shotgun doesn't represent all teachers. It doesn't represent all young men, although that guy wasn't that young. He was 31. But it is a flashing red light warning us that there are a bunch of disaffected motherfuckers out there that don't do anything but sit on the internet and consume the material that confirms their bias. This is a problem I have, actually, and you guys may have noticed this, right? Like, I have a problem with people on the right that don't listen to anything, right? Like, I absolutely deplore and am disgusted by leftists, especially socialists. I have a special little place in my cold heart for socialists and communists. Those guys are, I just don't like them. But I digress. You can't consume intent. You can't just consume content that confirms your own bias over and over and over and over and over again. You need to be willing to say, yeah, brother, that we fucked up on that one. That was bad. We should not have done that. This is a problem with people like Sage. I like Sage. I think I've had several good conversations with him. But dude's consumed too much toxic ass content. So stop being toxic. Stop consuming toxic content. You got nothing to lose. Nothing. Just stop consuming it. Give the other side the benefit of the doubt sometimes. Just because you're wrong. No, I'm not wrong, bro. Me being right should not be the end of your world. If it is the case that it is the end of your world if my opinion and viewpoint conflicts with yours, brother, you need help. You need Christ, baby. You just need Christ. I'm telling you. I did do that, toxic. All right, so locally in my hometown, in Rutherford County, where I live, my mayor is absolutely dead set on no new taxes. I support this. That's even with a 30% health insurance hike and a $10 million budget crunch that we're getting through inflation. I consider this smart. The taxpayer base here is tapped out. We actually have people leaving this community because it's becoming a little bit burdensome. And we're having a lot more crime. And we really need to we need to do a one problem at a time solving of this locally. I believe most towns are probably like this. I think most small towns are similar. Get involved in your local government. It's worth it. And we've had several, in my opinion, overblown incidents with firearms lately, some other things. Did John Mayer play Read My Lips first? I don't know. That's a great question. Read my lips. No new taxes. Did my mayor play Read My Lips first? Yeah. No, he just said it straight out. No new taxes. I think that's the right thing to do. So now, the last thing I talk, we're in this 1 hour. Before I have anyone up to chat, we got to talk about one thing here, and then we'll flow into the next stage, and that is, what do we think is causing this lack of interest in college by our young men? Is it apathy? They just don't care. They just don't want to go. They're going to stay at home, play video games, sit on the couch, live off their parents. Is that what it is? Is it a rational exit? Hey, I can go be a plumber, make more money. There are houses that need to be built. I'm going to go build houses. What do we think it is? Where do you think this is coming from? Because now, statistically, there have always been more women in college than men since about the 1970s. Now, that's a weird kind of delineation, but that's true. It just is. Women go to college. Mainly because I think that they see that as a path to an office job or a more professional career rather than, going into the workforce and being blue collar. I think that the opposite is true on the male side. I think that. So that's what it is. Lack of proper role models like their fathers, et cetera. That could be. It's very interesting that you say that. That wasn't on my bingo card, but okay. It's an interesting thing to think about, right? Because it is factually correct that there are less young men applying to college after high school than ever before. At the same time, normally my answer would be, well, there are probably more young men going into the military, but that's not true either. It seems to me to be that there is a split between kids, young men that go to college, young men that choose the military or other government service, men that choose to go into the trades, and then maybe there are, I don't know how much, but maybe there is a faction of these young men that are just simply staying at home, sitting on the couch. I'm not really sure what those numbers are, and I don't think anybody does. A proliferation of visa. Right. So Mr. Mystery says he would have to grab the numbers, but he thinks the numbers would show a prioritization of visa program DEI scholarships, true, and female groups in social sciences, true. I think both of those things are true. I don't think we need to look that up. Abe Dinka says the whole of the culture of the U.S. has shifted and is very off track. It needs realigned. It may take a whole lot to fix it. Okay. Abe, would you like to come up and talk? If you would, just let me know. I'm gonna go ahead, guys. I'm gonna post the link in the over in the mod chat. Give me 1 second. I'll do that now. Still nothing in the waiting room. Interesting. Nothing in the waiting room. All right, let me find the mod chat. I gotta scroll up. There we go. Mod chat. All right, the link is pasted, ladies and gentlemen. All right, if you would like to come up, just go over to the Discord. Go into the waiting room, say, hey, I want to come up, and they'll give you a link. Bob's your uncle. You're on the show. I will be looking for you in the back chat. Very interesting discussion today, I think. Really, really good. Really happy. Happy, happy, joy, joy. When the number one foreign donor to colleges is Qatar. Qatar, yeah. Well, Abe, come on up if you like. Basically, anybody can come up. I'm not super picky. I just don't want people that are going to tank my channel. So anybody wants to come up, come on up. I'll just wait here and I'll jabber while I'm waiting for people to come up. And if nobody comes up, I will just continue to jabber. I'm good at it. So many things have been going on. So much. Fun fact, Bob was your uncle. Good to see you, BIY. Good to see you. Keep dropping those golden nuggets. That's true. So, guys, while we're waiting for people to come up, yesterday I went and looked at, let me see if I can find the link. I think I've got the link. Give me 1 second. That's not what there we go. Not there. Then where? Yeah, it doesn't seem like anybody's coming up. I'm going to start talking again here in a second. I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking for something. Yeah, got it right here. All right. So nobody wants to come up yet. So just let me know if anybody does. Certainly happy to have you. I'm going to share my screen here. This is what I was doing yesterday. So here we go. There we go. All right. So as you can see, this is a private jet charter business in Rutherford County, Tennessee. That's where I live. And I went and looked at purchasing this business yesterday. Asking price is $1 million. That's probably pretty good. It is an active 9 or less with current jet on the certificate. Key 119s are there to assist. Now, I don't know if I want to go into all, I don't know if I want to go into all of this stuff, but basically 9 or less means the jet can hold, that the jet is legal, or the certificate is legal for any jet that is, or aircraft that holds 9 people or less. Belted seats, 9 belted seats or less. The current jet on the cert is a Citation. It's what's called a C2 plus. And then, and that's on the certificate right now. There's some value in that. And the key 119s are the staff. Now that is the chief pilot, that is the director of operations, and the director of maintenance. Those 3 people must be on staff to have a valid 135 certificate. Okay, clear now? All right. So this is, and this goes into explain it. This gives location, blah, blah, blah. And obviously it's got a picture of the jet there. Jets are cool. Everybody likes jets. So I went and looked at this yesterday, and it is an interesting business. And to actually get it running as a business, it's actually not a business for sale. It's a certificate for sale that allows you to do business with FAA approval as a charter using as a 135, which you can use either just traditional airplanes or jets. Basically, it's super expensive to get into. You make money while you do it. It's hard not to make money doing it, but the get started cost is super high, like ridiculously high. Now, I'm not going to go into all of the numbers, but it's really, really expensive to make it work. And I'm looking at it and trying to make the numbers make sense. And the problem is, believe it or not, the big problem is I don't want to buy this jet. Okay. So the jet that is on the certificate is probably going to run between 4 to 4.5 million. Now that's on like a 30 or 40, probably a 30-year loan. And you're probably looking at $30,000 a month to pay your note and insurance and all of that. It sounds like a lot, but you understand that with 60 hours a month, let me do some quick math. Let me see. Do I have a calculator on my? I do have a calculator on my computer. So let me. And make that the whole damn screen, and we'll bring it up. Best deals are made on the golf course or strip club. Can eat lunch at both, but you can't complain about the hair and food at the strip club. Big no-no. That's funny. What's up, Wicked Wally? Good to see you out there, my man. Good to see you. Hey, the waiting room is open. If anybody wants to come up and chat for a little while, that would be great. Now, I've got the I got the calculator here. So basically, on a jet like this, you're operating that at about wrong button, wrong place. All right. So you're operating that about 5,000 an hour, and you're going to multiply that by about 60 hours a month. Okay. 60 hours a month is really like you can definitely fly more than that, but it's tough. It's really tough. Okay. So 60 hours a month, you're making $300,000 a month off of that airplane. That's times 12. You're making $3.6 million a year off of that airplane, and your operating cost is, less than that. So that's how this works out. So if you have a $30,000 a month note and you're making, 300, if you basically are paying 10% of your income a month on the note on the plane. Now that's if you buy it. Now the problem is that who wants to fucking buy it? I want to lease that bitch. Problem is there are no leases. I can't find a jet for lease. If I could find a jet for lease, I'd go buy this today. But I can't. And I wouldn't fly it. I'm not legal to fly jets. So I would, and then you got pilots and there, now you got payroll and, that kind of thing. But, it's not a bad gig. 3.6 million a year in revenue on one plane. We can just keep adding planes, right? Our cost doesn't really go up. So we can just keep adding planes. So this is how, this is just kind of what I do. And I went yesterday and talked to the guy. It's a really interesting business, really interesting story behind it, which is also really cool. It's kind of trying to make it work. When we look at what the actual operating costs are, so you have about $500,000 in payroll for for your fixed guys, which is your 119s, the director of operation, director of maintenance, and the chief pilot. Those guys, they're going to combine salary is going to be about $500,000. You're going to need pilots per plane. You need 4 pilots per aircraft. They do have brokers, and we can talk. Yeah, the brokers are how we book it, right? So people like Sage, who brokers freight deals. On the other side of that are people who broker these flights for these private aircraft. So, and look, I saw this is crazy to think about. I saw it when we were looking through this month's bookings. One of the flights, he's going to bill $54,000 on a single flight by the time it's all done. It's definitely a stable trend. Looking in the industry right now, if I had and I agree with the guy's assessment yesterday. He basically said that if he had 100 airplanes, he could keep them all busy. And they would be fine. The demand for business jet travel right now is through the roof. It's just through the roof. So. So, and like a C3 or a C2 plus jet, they're $4.5 million, $5 million. They're going through, they're what are considered light jets or small. They're very small. So you have light, medium, and heavies in the private jet field. And so, once you get into the heavies, the big jets, which are Globals, Global Express, Hawkers, that kind of thing. Now you're talking real money. But they probably they only fly every once in a while. Like they'll fly, this jet would fly, 60 hours a month. The other jet would fly maybe 25, maybe. But it would make more money per hour and contribute more to the bottom line than any of the other jets. So again, you just can't buy one. I can't buy one and I can't lease one. So that's what I did yesterday. I went and looked at a company to buy for a jet, and the only downside is there are no airplanes. There are airplanes. There are no airplanes that I want to buy and or lease. I'm still looking, and if I can make it make sense, I'm going to do it because, first of all, it's cool, and second, it's a hands-off business. You just set it up and you let it run. This guy uses remote people, what he calls his charter team. He's got 5 people that do the charters. They're the people who do all the scheduling and everything. Then he has one plane listed with a broker, like a Amalfi or Jet, whatever it is. And they book that plane, and he just, he's basically given it to them, and they just run it like it's their airplane and pay him. So, and he's got 5 total aircraft. So that's, I think I may buy the cert and then find a jet for lease. The question right now is if I can find a jet for lease somewhere in a reasonable range, right? So that will be the ticket. But that's what I did yesterday. That's one of the businesses that I'm looking at right now, and I really like it. I think it's cool, and I think the numbers work. So you're not going to make you're not going to do the amount of money that you think you're going to do every year, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I think you can realistically make, probably, I don't know. Let's see. What would I? So I think at the end of every year, I could make about $400,000 per airplane in profit per airplane. So if I have 2 planes, that'd be 800 grand a year. If I have 3 planes, 1.2, 4 planes, 1.6, 5 planes, 2 mil in profit. That's profit. That's not anything else. So that's something to look at. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the numbers end up bringing, but I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's really cool. And I think the people that I'm working with are really cool. So we'll see how that works out. Nobody came up. Nobody wanted to come up. I thought for sure my man Abe would want to come up. That interesting earlier was very interesting. It's not passive, but it would be passive for me because I'd be mostly hands off, right? Like I would work with I would work with the charter team and I would work with the maintenance team. And those are the 2 people I would mostly have to deal with. Yeah. If I could do federal contracts, that'd be sweet, but they have their own airplanes, but they do contract a lot. The thing is I have right here, in my area, 10 miles north of me, there's a, not 10 miles by air, which is like 3 minutes. They have, Embraer has their jet service area, which is, I can just send the jet to them. And actually one of my friends does the service there. So I could probably have him and a couple other guys. I could hire them privately to do the maintenance on my jets. And then the only question is building a hangar. Yeah. Once it was all set up, it's just on remote control. It's not passive, but it's as close as I can get. So yeah, no, you're not far off. And if you look at it, so now this you wouldn't be able to do an SBA on because, well, first of all, there's no real assets. But there would be it is possible to get a partial SBA. So I might have to come up with maybe a couple of $100 grand. Yeah, I can run the maintenance myself. I can't do the maintenance myself. So I just do all the scheduling. I do all, I just work with the A&Ps. But maintenance on a jet can take a long time. So, it can take like a what's called a Doc 10, which is where the most invasive inspection that they do on a jet can take 6 months to do, because they have to take everything apart. They have to look at everything, that all the hydraulics, all the electronics, they do a bunch of corrosion tests. They do a bunch of stuff. And if they find it, they have to fix it. So a Doc 10 could easily take 3 to 6 months that your airplane is down, can't go anywhere. And you have to do that every 2,000 hours. So, and if you're running 60 to 80 hours a month flight time, you're killing it. So it's I think it's good, but you could apply the same tactic to a lot of other different businesses. The question is going to be if I can find an airplane for lease, because I looked yesterday, I couldn't find any. What's up, Brandon Ray? Well, we talked a lot about a lot, and now we were talking about a business that I was in. If you want, if you want, the link is over in Discord. Go to the waiting room, tell them that you want the link, and they will give it to you, and you can come on up. So. I never actually thought that light jets were hard to find. I always thought that they were they were such a luxury premium item that they would be easy to find. But I looked most of the afternoon yesterday just to find a jet for lease, and I couldn't do it. Well, I couldn't find something that was
leasing a light jet is often harder than chartering because the market for long.
Why did that happen? That was crazy. And it's supposed to be muted. What the hell? What even was that? The fuck is Gemini? I think they snuck an AI in on my last phone update. Bastards. Hey, there's Brandon Ray. I got you, brother. I don't know if the mods are paying attention. There you go. Done deal. You got the link, my man. Sage never did give me any proof, guys. Sage comes in and says stuff like, you're wrong, you don't know what you're talking about. I ask for proof. I get no proof. No proof. Just whining, moaning, gnashing of teeth, grinding of molars. That's the way it is. And we got Brandon Ray. Welcome in, sir. How are you?
I prefer Ray. I know I had to go by my name. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Yesterday when I joined, I didn't realize when I clicked it, you do through a different stream app,
Yeah.
right? Okay. I do StreamYard.
Streamlabs.
So when I hit accept, I wasn't even paying attention to the microphone, so it turned my mic off. So it actually accessed my laptop and the mic. So I was on my live stream yesterday, and my guy was like, "Dude, you sound weird, different." And I was like, "What do you mean?" So I actually went through it trying to figure out why my microphone changed, and this was the only thing I could come up with. And then when I just came in, it said I had to change it over because it was just wanting to use my laptop mic. Which I got a good laptop. I just bought the new Rogue Strix. It was about $3,800 gaming laptop. So it's a pretty nice one. Well, like 3 months ago I bought it. So I was going to say on the plane thing, it seems like a good business, but it's like you got to be able to network and tie in with a lot of, I'm not necessarily saying famous people, but a lot of business people, or you know what I mean? Like people that do not
Well,
want to fly public, with the commercial, they want to fly private. And I never really got it. I like horses. Like we just sold a colt last week for like 38 or about 13, close to 14K, and a Tennessee Walker. And here's the thing. When I lived in Florida, I took helicopter lessons. I've got pictures and everything around here of me fly. I wanted to do the flight lessons. I lived in Panama City. We had Tyndall Air Force Base like 5 minutes down the road. So we had other things, and I was trying to, just learn to have fun. I was 19. I wanted to work on the beach and fly those choppers back and forth, to do the tours. I was a kid, and I was grown, but 19 years old. And I don't know. I took the lessons here and there. And I just really didn't get into it. But the flying stuff, I've never been on an airplane, believe it or not. I've flown a chopper.
really?
Yeah, I've flown a chopper, but I've never been on an airplane. As many places I've traveled, I've never been on an airplane. So
I fly a lot.
I don't know if I could deal with that compact with people, I'm real
it's pretty
sketchy.
cool.
So
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So the whole thing about so I'm just looking for a business to buy, right? And there's like some criteria that I want. I want to at some point be hands off. I don't want to be what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to have to be there every day and
active.
like micromanage
Yeah.
everything. I
just wanted
I want something that's, yeah. Or, I go in, I hang out, people do their job. I go out and, do my paperwork and stuff. And
I wouldn't even want to do paperwork. No, I'd want someone else to do it.
Yeah.
And I'd just sit back.
I sign paperwork, let's say that. And I kind of want to be in that because I'm retired. I've been retired a long time, and I have a hard time kind of going back into everything. So, but I guess where I'm at is, I've looked at a lot of business. I looked at a glass business over in Knoxville last year. We got right up to buying it. And the problem is that when we looked at it initially, they had it at like 1.3 million, something like that. Then they raised the price to 2.8, and we ended up settling back down at 2.3. And we were like really on the fence of doing it. We get down to the very last part of it, which is funding it, pulling the money out of my pocket to do it. And we were going to do a traditional SBA. The problem is that the interest rate was high. It was like 6.75%, 7%. And I'm like, I can't do that. Like that's crazy. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And so then I looked at probably 7 to 10 businesses last year to buy. Only got close on 2 of them, which is fine. The idea is that you should not rush into it and just buy the first thing. You got to look at it. My wife actually sent me this airplane business. She was, we look on Biz Buy Sell and other places all the time to see if we can, see what's out there to buy. And this jet business is local, and it's very interesting to me. And the way the charters work is there's a couple of different websites that charter flights. And so you literally go on there, and there will be a bunch of, it's almost like an Airbnb listing where there's a bunch of houses. Instead of this is a bunch of people who want to fly somewhere. And it'll be like from, say, Nashville to St. Petersburg, Florida. And maybe they have a price range, maybe they don't. And then you just contact that person and say, hey, and they'll have the date when they want to fly. And then you'll just say, hey, this is what we have. This is a plane we have. This is how much it costs. Let me know if you want to do it. And the company that I looked at yesterday, they have a charter team. They have like 5 people that their full-time job is to go through those listings and through their contacts and find, and bid flights. And
Basically book flights, right?
yeah, well, they're bidding them first and then they book them, right? So it's not unlike going on a job site, right? So if I'm a concrete contractor, I would go on like Angie's List or something, and I go through the list of people who want a concrete job done, 5,000 square foot, slab in a driveway. Okay, sounds fine. That's perfect. It's a great job for me. I can do it in 5 hours, 10 hours, something like that. Let's do it. And I bid that job. And then if I get it, I get it. Well, the flights is very similar. It's a similar kind of setup, similar kind of deal. And so, and then they have brokers that you can use as well. And they're people, and most of the brokers work on kind of like a jet card or black card kind of deal where they go to you and say, hey, pay me $100,000 and we guarantee you 25 hours of flight whenever you want. With, but there'd be like X amount of notice. So it doesn't matter where you want to fly to, right? So as long as it's within that 25 hours. And so, and the way that works is if you're the client and I'm the broker, you would say, hey, I want to fly from Knoxville to Acapulco or Knoxville to Cancun, and it needs to be this date. And I'm going to, and that's, a 10-hour flight, 5 hours each way or 3.5 hours each way or whatever it is. And I've got a jet card. I got 25 hours on. So so that 25 hours represents, say you paid $100,000 for it, right? So for each hour is about $4,000 an hour. Yeah. Which if we're charging you $5,000 an hour, that'd be a pretty decent discount, right? So then the broker starts shopping around the charter services. So they would hit us and say, hey, we got a guy who needs to go from here to here, these dates. How much will you do it for? And let's say that we would do it. So let's say that we would do it for $2,500, right? Or $3,000. Well, they pocket the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're going to make $2.
Yeah. They'll make $2 on it. And so, and they can't do it every day. And, there's, with the self-booking, most of these charter services are getting, charter teams going so that they can handle as much of it in-house, but the brokers are still making money.
Oh yeah. That they have to. I mean, that would be, see, that's kind of business. It's for me, it would be, what would be the return at the end of the year? Is it profitable to run it, or would it be profitable to actually add more planes, Yeah,
that's the thing. You need to add planes, but let's just say you have one. I just ran the numbers for one plane, and basically, if you have a C3, which is a Citation 3, it's a light plane. Kel's back at work in a dealership dealing with brokers. We're talking about airplanes, Kel. Come on up, Kel. Kel, go to the Discord and get the link. Come on up. It's been a minute. But at any rate, so let's just say you have a C3 and it rents for you fly that airplane for about $5,000 an hour through a broker. Okay. So you have it with a broker, and they're the ones that book all the flights on it. They run it, and they're doing 60 hours a month with it. So now you're not paying a charter team. You're not doing anything. Your overhead's kind of low. So if you did that, and you're going to 60 hours a month is about where you're going to be. You can fly more than that, but you're running right up against the line. But 60 hours is kind of what you bank on. So that's like your minimum, right? Like that's the least amount you're going, because at that point, that's a good, like it pays you, but you're not flying, 10 hours a day or anything stupid, right?
Yeah.
So you get 60 hours in a month. That's basically 2 hours a day of flight. So, if you do that at $5,000 a day, that's $300,000 a year.
But that's not including though. Also, what your flight, your pilot, and then
Well, that's everything. 5,000.
Oh, is that include paying the pilot and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you do 5,000 an hour at 60 an hour. Oh, hold on.
60 a month.
Yeah, no, hold on. I messed up. 5,000 an hour times 60 hours is $300,000. So, of that, you are going to make roughly $600 per hour profit. Now, that's $36,000 a month
Yeah.
in profit. That's after you've paid everybody, all the fuel's paid, the insurance is paid, the hangar's paid, everything's paid. And if you times that by 12, that's $432,000 a year you're sticking in your pocket with one airplane. Now, every airplane you add over that, your profit goes up, your operating cost stays the same, right? Because you're not hiring more people other than pilots, which are the lowest paid of the people.
Yeah, maintenance is more. I know that.
Well, the admin's is your biggest payroll.
Like I said, I don't really know planes and stuff like that.
Yeah, Kel, I'm sorry that I'm glad you're headed for work, but you should have come on earlier and hung out.
I just usually know maintenance and parts is usually more than pay.
Yeah.
Usually you pay out for, but you want the top notch,
Sure.
maintenance either too. You don't. I would. The only thing, it sounds great. I mean, it really does.
Well, you just have to look at every business like this. Like, it doesn't matter if you're selling shoes or you're selling cars or you're selling airplane rides or you're selling
horses or whatever.
Yeah, it honestly doesn't matter. You just look, okay, what's my profit?
Yeah.
Because
I have to look at feed.
You're selling a product for $5,000 an hour, and you're only making $600 of that.
Yeah,
Think about that.
You got, when you get in that kind of bit, or for me, I would have to think more. I would have to me to sit and think, oh, $600 an hour, profit after 5,000. I would have to look more towards the end profit at the end of the year instead of the I couldn't get, if I dove into the details that much, it would turn me down. You know what I mean? Like it would,
yeah.
Like, man, $600 out of 5K, or this. It would be, but it's also, it's like, do you have a seasonal? Do you have a better when it's summer or
That's a great question.
Or
and I asked that question
spring,
yesterday.
You got more people wanting vacation, or do you try to hit towards the business class because know there's going to be people flying from Nashville to New York or LA? There's so many areas but is the market going to drop and then you're just going to be sitting there with 5 planes that ain't moving?
Well, that's never
tough.
happened. But
I know, but I'm saying, for me, my mind works
right.
that. Like,
well, some of those are good questions. So the first really good question is, do you have a better season than others? And the answer is yes. And you do not want the plane to go down for maintenance between August and about now, April, May, because that's when people are traveling for holidays. That's when people are traveling for a lot of work. Travel happens during that period of time, and but mainly it's just a lot of people taking the family on trips, going to Canada and going to the Bahamas or whatever. So, those are really great questions to ask, and that's a great way to ask that. So you don't want the plane to go down for maintenance in your busiest time of the year. So to some degree, if you're smart, and most people are, most owners do the best they can to stagger maintenance so that they always have a baseline number of aircraft available, and they want maximum aircraft available during that high density time when people are tired of the cold and flying from Michigan to Florida, right? Mm-hmm. This company, I like the way they've done it. Now he obviously wants all jets because in his mind, or on paper, jets add more to the bottom line than the turboprops. But he's got 2 turboprops and 3 jets, and I like that organization because the turboprops are cheaper. So somebody that really can't afford $5,000 an hour for the C3 can get in a PC-12 for $2,500 an hour. The difference in arrival time, so from takeoff and where we're at to landing in Orlando, Florida, to go down and hit the Universal Studios, mm-hmm. is the difference in time is about 4 minutes flight time. The difference in cost is literally double. So he sells a lot of flights in the PC-12 to people who just want to just go, they just want to flight to Orlando.
Yeah.
And it's $2,500 instead of $5,000.
What about, and what, with these planes, I mean, they're what, 10 passenger, 9 passenger?
9 passengers and less. 9 belted seats and less.
Okay. So that makes me want to ask, do you have to actually go into a international airport, a bigger airport? Say, I'm in a country, I've got a little airport out here with a hangar.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. It's like
as long as it has a long enough runway.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good size. So, but
it's not like my hometown. I mean, where I'm at, I'm right off the end of the runway of this airport, and it's 4,300 feet or something like that. Something like that.
I'm not for sure how big, but I know it's
almost a mile. Town. And we have jets operate no problem out of there.
And that's the thing I would want. Like if I charter a plane, I don't want to go to Knoxville. I don't want to drive 2.5 3 hours to Nashville.
And when you look at the cost, right here,
right?
So a lot of people are like, well, it's got to cost so much more. Okay, so first of all, if me and my wife and my son all buy tickets on a regular airline, that's $500 minimum, because it's gonna be $200 each for me and the wife, and $100, or it'll be $200. Oh, it'd be $600 because we don't get a break for him because he's not little anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be $600. Hey, what's up, Josh? How are you?
And that's just a flight.
That's just the flight there in a cattle car. Can't take much luggage. Have to check your firearms. Have to do all this stuff. So if I fly on a PC-12, it's $2,500 down there, but I could take 5 people, right? Yeah. I can easily take 5 people. I have a high payload, so I can take. There's no 50-pound weight limit on my luggage, right? I don't have to care. I don't have to worry about anything
liquid. You don't have to pay extra to have it shipped back, and
Yeah, I don't have to
do that. When I went to the Bahamas, they're like, hey, because I went on a ship, and when we went to Nassau and places like that, it's like, hey, you can't take this. Even when I went to Jamaica, we went on a 7-day cruise in Jamaica. We went up to the 9 Mile. I've got pictures, man. I'll show you sometime, of inside Bob Marley's tomb, everything up on the mountain, all that beautiful. It's also had a great experience. Here's the thing. But when I bought the original coconut rum and different rums and stuff from Jamaica, now I don't drink. I like to collect them. So we got original tequila from Mexico, real tequila, all this stuff. So they're like, hey, you can only bring so many ounce, like a little ounce, you have to ship this back. I think it cost us around $400 or $500 because we were buying quite a bit, and so we paid $400 or $500 to have, all this stuff shipped back and had to pay this fee. all this, and that's the thing. Like when you're flying private, of course, there's a weight limit. I'm sure but like you're saying, you don't have to check in surely you wouldn't have to check, especially a little airport like mine. You wouldn't have to check in your firearms or any real thing like that. Because if you're just hauling 4 or 5 people, you're going to have enough for each person's luggage. I mean, that's.
Yeah, in a like a PC-12 and especially in a jet, like a jet just doesn't care how much you put in. But so there's a lot of advantages to flying private. So let's say that you had 9 people. You wanted to take your family and your brother's family and all the luggage and just you want to do that. Well, that's going to be more than $2,500 in airfare.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
You can have a whole plane $250 a ticket at least for the adults. You're going to end up.
That's for cheap seats. So if you buy, and I actually had this happen. If I have to, and obviously with private, you can just fly basically whenever there's a plane available, right? So you can, and to some degree, you can control that by how much you spend, but they give you a window of when you can fly, and you can just say, okay, I want to fly Tuesday at 8 a.m. or whatever's convenient for you. And they're there. So when you're flying private like that, though, the interesting thing is that you can, for example, if I buy Southwest tickets with their choice extra, where I get to pick my seat, I can sit up front, I have 2 free bags and everything else. It's all you can on Southwest, you can have $1,000 airline ticket now. So if you did that for a family where everybody was, $600, $800, or almost $1,000 per ticket,
you're looking at
$500 an hour
$6,000 just for the adults. Oh,
yeah,
well, you depend on if you got 4 or 5, say, adults, 2 couples, 3, you're looking at a chunk of change.
So so if it's a 2-hour flight and it's going to cost you $5,000 each way, then you're probably not too far off for what you would pay in regular airfare. Mm-hmm. Now there are some better things in regular airfare, like they're more regular, they're more predictable, that kind of thing. But with private is interesting. So I think why the private aviation, as far as private jets, private transport, has really taken off, especially since COVID. COVID seemed to be the real call to arms. But yeah. And if you're,
I was looking at the new. Well, I was looking. Me and the wife, we were looking the other day. We were like vacation van. Sorry, we were looking at the new GMCs, and I forget which one it was. It was the fully loaded. It's got the party. It's like the lights everywhere. The seats are, and where we were talking about going on vacation, and I'm like, what if we just try to, maybe not get a 2026, but try to invest in one of these. I don't really care for the strobe lights and all that. Yes, it comes with it, blah, blah, blah. But, for the room for the kids, and now the kids are almost adults. We got, husbands and fiancés, you know what I mean, to go with us in vacation. And it's like, now that we go, we're not taking 5-year-olds anymore. We're taking adults. Sure. So of course the luggage is going to be more, stuff like that. And now they're going to have their companion with them. So, and that's what we were doing. We were looking at, I was like, wouldn't it just be better to buy one of these like 8 freaking seat vans or 7 seat, one of these big GMCs? I mean, so we're really considering on doing that, and they're expensive. They're not cheap, but we were thinking maybe go back a couple of year model. I didn't even look at the price because I just didn't want to get my hopes up on the gyms, on the new one. And it's not that I can't afford it. It's just, I don't know if I need a brand new that, you know what I mean? Like, I don't mind going.
I go through that same battle a lot.
It's like, do I want the new one, or can I, what about a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, just got a little bit more miles on it, maybe not a lot. So, and, I'm trying to look and see if they hold their value, if I decide to get rid of it, or, hey, sell it to a buddy or something, you know what I mean? So I always have to study it 10 times more in my brain than what I should. But yeah, we were looking at them. I was like, wouldn't it just be easier instead of, because we usually rent. I'll be honest, we don't drive our cars. We don't want to put mileage on them.
Yeah.
When we go to Florida, we drive. We rent big, big vans like that.
I mean, hey,
That's what we're
about to. Yeah, well, I don't rent big vans, but I'm about to do a. So I've got to go to. I'm about to shoot a match or shoot a pair of matches back to back in the middle of May, right? And the first one is, let's see, the 20. It starts on the 21st, I think, and goes to like the 24th, something like that. Yeah, it starts on the 22nd, ends on the 24th, which means I'll get there Thursday. It starts Friday, goes to Sunday. I'll get there on Thursday. I'm renting a vehicle, and I'm going to drive it. Now, there's a couple of reasons for that. First, if I take my vehicle, I have to take my truck, which is okay on fuel mileage, but not the best. And I'm putting miles on my vehicle and all of that nonsense. And then the second thing is that it's easy. It's nice just to like come back and just hand the keys to somebody and just walk away.
Yeah, and say
not have to clean it, not have to do anything. Just walk out of it. And then the following week, I get back on the 25th. I leave again on the 28th to drive to Kansas or Nebraska. I'm going to drive through Kansas, and
that's boring.
I'm going to shoot a match in Nebraska. And so I'm renting a car for that too. And that's been my method of operation for a while. So. Joseph, no, I shoot 3 guns. So I shoot rifle, pistol, and shotgun. So I've got some video. You want to see some video?
Yeah, they're not clay targets.
Yeah, I got video. Let me, I'll pull it up. Give me a second. But yeah, I mean, it's, so I get the rental car thing. My thing is that, it's
easier. It is. It's easier for us.
It's certainly easier for sure.
We get the fully load. Usually it
breaks down.
We have AAA anyways, but we get the full insurance package. Yeah. We do all that. We don't have to do nothing but put gas and drive. That's it. We don't have to do it.
Well, I mean, so for example, if I'm on my way to Kansas and the vehicle breaks down. So if it's my vehicle, I have to find a tow truck, get off the highway, find it. Then need to find a repair shop that I can trust to fix it. And
that's all on you.
Yeah, it's all on me. And it's going to chew up a lot of time. And, I could even miss my event and so on and so forth. But if I'm renting,
they have it automatically set in who they deal with, everything, and that's what I like about it. It's really luxury. People don't look at it like I do or you do. I look at it as luxury because if I break down, they already work with companies that take care of us.
Yeah, I mean,
like you said, we have to. If it's our vehicle, we have to. Guess what? I don't know if I'm going to a barn in the middle of the woods, some old dude, or if I'm going to the right mechanic or the right shop. Do they deal with this kind of motor or what? It's a hassle.
To some degree, that's for sure that's right. But I guess my point is that if I rent from Enterprise or Alamo or Hertz. And that thing breaks down on the highway, I call them up and I say, hey, bring me another car.
Yeah, exactly. They bring you another vehicle. They
bring me another vehicle. I transfer my stuff one to the other, and they deal with whatever's broken. Like it's just no big deal. And when you're traveling to stuff that matters, right? Like when you're traveling to, I have a schedule. I have to be there. Mm-hmm. It really makes a big difference. I feel like it makes.
It does, because vacation, I can be an hour or two late. You know what I mean? But when you have a scheduled event like you're talking about, yes, I have a clock. I have to be there on a time. There, either you got to go in, you got to register, or even if you pre-register, you still got to go in. I don't know about how that works. I've never done the shooting stuff, but I know certain events I've been to. Like, even if you pre-register online and get your ticket, you still have to go and sign in. You still have to, announce that you're there, either pick up your tickets or show them your tickets or something, and it's, I get what you're saying, because a lot of times it is because they'll Hertz is good about that. They'll bring you,
Yeah, Enterprise
Here.
hurts anything.
Oh yeah, Enterprise.
They're
Some
just going to
people
be
are like,
like,
well, I can't afford it. And I'm like, but you're better off if you just rent. It's more convenient. If you got the money, for me, it is. It's more convenient.
if you got the
just
money to
deal with
travel,
it.
you should probably have the money to do this. So here's
Yeah,
let me turn the
exactly.
volume up.
Exactly.
This is a shooting I do, Joseph. A terrible stage. Did very badly. I'm going to skip ahead. Yeah, it's pretty good time, Joseph. This plate rack's like really far. And that's it. Yep, that's what I do. That's the type of matches I shoot.
Are you on Instagram much?
Not as much. I mean, I have Instagram. I don't really do much with it. Did I miss a raid or something? Did we have somebody? Did we got a lot of people all of a sudden? That's cool.
Have you ever seen the black gun owners secession session on Instagram? Dude, these guys are, man, they do what you just did. You know what I mean? And it's about promoting, with firearms and shooting and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I follow them and another guy called Black Bear, and he does that shoot like I think he does competition too. I'm not for sure. Mm-hmm. He does a lot of that. What you're doing there with obstacles and stuff. And like, I know some people here in my town, they do it. Like I said, my buddy, I sent him a message yesterday to see when it'd be a good time to share his info and see if he had anything on the market, So I'm waiting to get back a hold of me to give him the information, because I don't want to drop it if he's not really selling anything right now. And I prefer to send it to you in a private message and not get the Discord. Because sometimes he will go on, his bounties, and he'll go out of state for, 2 or 3 days, whatever it takes to catch a person. And I'm like, why do you even do that? You got people who work for you. You got people. And he's like, shit. And he's like, I think he's like 48 or 50, something like that. And I'm like, dude, he's like, it's still a rush, man. He's owned the company for 30 years. He's got employees and all that do everything. And I'm like, he's like, I still like to go hunt. He said, I love to hunt people down. I'm like, of course it's adrenaline, it's
Sure.
It's whatever you enjoy doing, that's what you enjoy doing. So like, it's hard to get it out. I'm like, dude, but you're in, the Key West and he's in the Keys a lot. They go to that island where they have that big party every year it's called the island. I don't know, where they go out to the barge or there's a big barge out there and they all just boat up and party. And I'm like, dude, you got, why? You don't have to, stop putting your life in danger. You know what I mean? Out here in the streets of Chicago or New York hunting somebody, you got people that do that for you. So, but yeah, he's a good dude. And like I said, as soon as he gets back with me, I'm going to, because man, this guy, you love his firearms, dude. I'm telling you, I don't even know how many he's got. He's got so many, I can't count them, but he's got some nice ones. So
that's cool. Yeah, I'm actually so like I said, I'm in I guess it'd be the 21st of next month. So in like 3 weeks, I'm going to be headed over to basically the Rockingham area in North Carolina. So I'm going to go right through your stomping grounds.
Yeah, I got an event over in Salisbury coming.
Oh, I like Salisbury. I used to I used to live over in Salisbury.
It's not my event. It's people I know that put it on, and I go to it every year. But it's a motorcycle event.
Sure.
Chris and Heather Callum, Cycle Source Media, Cycle Source Magazine, Cycle Source Media, Choppers. Do you remember when in early 2000s, mid 2000s, the original Indian Larry versus Billy Lane chopper build off stuff? Oh, yeah. Okay. Salisbury, North Carolina. That's where it originally started. So some friends of mine, they just, they had all that and it went away for some years. Well, some friends of mine, Chris and Heather, this couple, they took it back over. And now that they've took it back over and basically bought it, they have it at the fairgrounds over where it originally was. So they've been bringing it back for the last 5 or 6 years, and it's called the Smokeout Rally in Salisbury, North Carolina. And it's awesome. They got all kinds of stuff, events, stuff like that, vendors, all kinds of stuff. But it's not like I seen Drowning Pool and Puddle of Mud, like all kinds of bands, some killer bands and everything. If you enjoy concerts, they put on such a good show. And so I've been going over there the last 3 years in a row. And like that's just the stuff I'm into though. I like the world and all that stuff.
Sure.
And I like North Carolina. I love riding my Ultra Classic. It's the traveling bike. So I got the bags, the big, tour packs, all that stuff, the big fairings. And man, to just ride through the mountains over there, it's beautiful. I love it. I never turn down a time to ride through the mountains going to North Carolina. So,
well, I'm going to be, I'll be going through there on the 21st, or maybe, probably early the 21st. I'll be rolling through. It'll be a good time. I'm going to, I try to get there early on or midday Thursday so I can walk all the stages, check out where everything is, where I'm going to be and all that, and then start shooting Friday. So it's going to be good.
Will you run 40 up to?
Yeah, I think so. I think I want to run 40 up to. I basically go like I'm going to go through.
Well, when you get to Knoxville, you hit 75. That goes north, or if you go.
I hadn't thought about it. Let me see. Let me get the address back out again. So,
Dragon Tales. You mean Tail of the Dragons over there?
Tail of the Dragon.
Tail of the Dragon. God, I hate that place. Hate it.
Hate it.
I've been there twice. Yeah, you can't ride that place. If you want to ride the Tail of the Dragon, you need to do it through the week when it's slow. Oh, if you go over there on a weekend, man, it's bad. Yeah. it's a mess. I like
It
the
is.
foothills better. I like to ride the foothills better. The Foothills Parkway or the Blue Ridge Parkway is awesome. I love it. They got views. The Tail of the Dragon, there's so many trees and you don't get no views. And trust me, you're so focused because there's over 300 something curves it is. Like you're so focused. And then you got all these, cars that are, Fast and Furious cars and Corvettes, Porsches, whatever. They're coming through there. You got other motorcycle riders trying to pass the cars, or they're trying to race and go fast. And you're like, dude, there's 500 bikes right here in front of me, and 4 cars or 20 cars, and they're all trying. You can't, there's so many wrecks and deaths over there. I did it twice. I did it once just to experience it. I was like, this sucks. I'll never come back over to the Tail of the Dragon. Foothills, Blue Ridge, I love it. And then a friend of mine talked me into going back over there to the Tail of the Dragon and going with him and a couple of people. I went over there. I was like, dude, I'm only doing this for you. This sucks. I hate this place. It's just too packed. It's too many people. And I get it. It's a big name road in Tennessee, Carolinas, all that stuff. And it's famous. And that's where people want to come and like, oh, we got to ride Tail of the Dragon because it's famous. And then when they ride it, they're like, well, it was okay, but I could have. And I'm like, yes, there's better roads over here in East Tennessee, better than that road. You know what I mean? There's so much more beauty and better roads where there ain't 5 million people on, where you're going to take a chance of getting killed. Because it's dangerous now. If you ain't never been over here and rode it, man, you got to be careful because these people don't care. They want their fun. They're not worried about your fun. You know what I mean? They're not worried about you. They want their fun. So, yeah. But like I said, I where I live on top of a plateau mountain here, dude, I have some of the best mountain roads and everything, and I don't have to worry about, none of those people. So, yeah. But the Foothills is beautiful. And those cars still run over there, though. Those cars still like to do the Foothills Parkway. So
I'm going to be going basically the same way I used to go to Mooresville every week, which was, or not every week, but every now and then, when I would come back to Nashville and then go back to Mooresville. So basically I'm going to be doing 40 to 74, and that's it. Like it's 40 to 74.
Tootie Bug says she used to live in Roaring River, North Carolina. Okay.
Yeah. Joseph, Wyoming is really awesome. I've driven basically coast to coast multiple times with trailers and race cars and without cars behind me and just whatever. So Wyoming is one of those places that I really like to drive through when it's not snowing. When the weather's not bad, right? Wyoming's is a great place to drive through. So, but there's nothing.
I don't like Kansas, Missouri, the flat plains. We went out there.
Oh, Nebraska sucks, man.
Yeah,
Nebraska's so bad because all you see is corn.
Yeah,
fucking corn.
When I went to Colorado, I was 16 years old, and we went out and stayed in Arvada. I think it's like 30 minutes from Denver. It was close to Denver. And of course, we did I went with a friend and his family because his family lived out there. And then, they lived here and they traveled back and forth for work stuff. And so I got to go to Red Rock, I love the mountains. I got sick because of my heart, the air was thin. So I didn't get to do too many high up things, but I love the scenery. Colorado was beautiful. Now, would I want to live there? No, because yes, I love the mountains, but I don't want to be there year round like that, blah, blah, blah. Went through, St. Louis, went through all the areas out there, seeing all the, the fields of flowers, sunflowers, all that. Man, we tried to sleep, which we were teenagers, 16, 17. Sure. We tried to sleep as much as we could, really, because we wasn't driving, So, yeah. But when I went as an adult to Huntington Beach and, and we stopped out in Cheyenne, Wyoming, stuff like that. Then I haven't got to go north of the Redwoods. Like I haven't got to go Northern Cali. I'd love to go to Northern Cali just for the redwoods and stuff like that. Now I've done more over here. I've done more Michigan, I've traveled more through the Southeast, through the North. My brother was a truck driver, so I went with him a few times, not many, 2 or 3 times into different places. And we would stop at places, I got to go, I've been through Vegas, didn't really care for Vegas. We stopped and went in a casino and had a few beers and played some slots. We had a layover in Vegas. So, because he was a truck driver. So that's what we did for that night.
Mhm.
But now I haven't been below Dallas, like south of, Dallas, any of those things. I haven't really traveled, through that area. Like I said, if I go somewhere, I've went to a destination. I haven't
Right.
I got there and then I wanted to travel the whole state. I've not done that. My
Yeah.
next adventure though is to, not with the family, but planning is right now. I've got it in my mind, but it's trying to get the right setup and the right stuff, because my buddies go every year to Sturgis, South Dakota, for the rally, and so I can stay with one of them if I need to, because that, or rent the hotel, and they always check the prices up 3 times, and I don't really care to pay $1,000 a night out there. When the best time is, because I do the motorcycle stuff with my buddies and camping and all that. The best places is the campgrounds with them. You know what I mean? That's the best, because I don't drink, and a couple of them might drink, but a few of them don't. And we have a good time, not even drinking. So, but that's the best places is the campgrounds. That's where the best concerts to me is. That's where the best, sitting around a fire, meeting other people, having fun, all that stuff. So I prefer to sleep in a toy hauler in a bed, but in a camper, than sleeping in a hotel. I just prefer, because it's a better experience. Damn,
I guess I'm kind of on the other side of that. I tend to.
I'm sure you like the hotel stuff, don't you?
I go back and forth between hotels and other similar things, but it would not. It's not the end of the world if.
No, I'm not going to sleep in a tent on the ground. I'll tell you that. I did that.
I
have. Now, I did that many times. Don't get me wrong. When the kids was little, when I was younger, yeah, I'm out of that. I got to have a bed. I'm 45. I like to have a bed, and I have to have air conditioning. I have to have air conditioning, man. That's just a pet peeve. I have to have air conditioning. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But if we take the kids anywhere nowadays, we rent a cabin, or we, Airbnb, or we're in a hotel on the beach or something like that. So it's a lot different now. So
I don't normally do Airbnbs myself. Even though I have an Airbnb and I rent out to people all the time, like I have somebody in there this weekend, so even though that is the case, I don't do Airbnbs. I prefer hotels, usually because they're usually easier to find. I can find one near whatever I'm doing, and it's easy. And I don't have to clean it when I get home.
They're more clean and yeah.
For toy haulers and stuff, I would be okay with that. I've done similar things. I've had campers and stuff. My wife, though, I don't think is like, my wife will go through this phase where she's like, we should get a camper, or she loves the look of Airstreams and things like that. But then the reality sets in and she's like, yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. She loves the idea of it.
The idea of it, just not actually doing it.
It's a commitment when you buy a toy hauler or an RV.
She went camping with us in a tent one time.
Maintenance, all that stuff, man. Like you got to hook your grade, you got your grades and your blacks, your water holders and all that.
It's a lot of work. The problem for me with an RV,
everything,
the RVs are just a lot of work. I've rented RVs in the past where I go to, I find a dealer nearby and I'll call them up and be like, hey, I'm going to be in town. I'd like to rent an RV. Do you have one? And they'll usually quote me at like a really high price. And I'll be like, oh man, it sucks. I'd really like to rent from you. Do you know anybody? Do you have a customer that maybe rents their personal RV or something like that? And once you say that, they're like, let me see if I can make a deal. Let's see if I can get something going on. Let me go talk to that rental manager a minute. Let me just tell him you're like a buddy of the dealer or something like that. So I've done that before and I don't mind it. The problem again with all of this is the one thing that the hotel has going for it above everything else is I don't have to clean that shit up.
Yeah.
Like I just literally walk out.
You have more access when you're in a hotel. You usually 90% of the time or more, you have more access to walking to somewhere to get something to eat or whatever.
Yeah, right.
You have you can.
Yeah,
you just
that's
have more access
my friends travel the country in a toy hauler, and that's their biggest complaint. And they've spent thousands of dollars trying to fix this. But the problem is that the truck to pull their toter home is big. And so parking it anywhere is a pain in the ass.
I got a buddy in Florida. He can't even park his truck in his driveway at home because
it's too big.
With HOA where it's so big, it's a dually. Yeah, it's a big.
It leans out. It extends over the sidewalk, right?
Yeah, and then he has to rent a storage to park his his toy hauler and stuff in, and stuff. And it's like, what the hell, man? That's crazy. Yeah.
So
you chose to live in a neighborhood. I live in the country where I got 29 acres.
Yeah.
I can pull it anywhere.
Right. So they have their problem was that just unhooking it is, unhooking it's not bad, but it's just one more thing they have to do. They have to get everything out of the back of the truck because they put all the bicycles and crap in the back of the truck while they're towing. And then they go, and if they go anywhere, they usually have to park pretty far away because you can't park the truck in a normal parking lot usually, because it is a dually, and it's and it's a long wheelbase dually, so it's got a full 6 or 8 foot bed on a dually crew cab. So it's a fucking long truck.
My buddy's is 8, I think 8 or something like that. Yeah, and it's
I think
and the main thing
crew cab there's 6, but
and the main thing people don't understand when they buy an RV or they want to do that, the first thing you need to do is be able to afford the truck, because you have to have the weight, the towing weight capacity. You got to know what that stuff is. There's a lot more that goes into it than saying, hey, I want to buy an RV and travel. They think it's fun, the idea. But there's a lady on YouTube. I can't think of her name. It's RV Life. She gives you all the Pacific, everything, man. She breaks it down. She's huge on YouTube. And my buddies followed her a lot on YouTube and stuff. Because that's what they did. They bought a big 5th wheel toy haul, huge. It was a I can't even think of the name. It's a huge name. It's a big brand. Huge, man. Full size bed in the back, in the garage. All that. Put 3-4 motorcycles in. Big.
Yeah.
But this lady that does it, and like Tootie said, you never buy one brand new. You really don't. You don't. People think, I need to get a.
The depreciation is just absurd.
Yeah. I mean, don't buy.
The other problem my friends have is once they get to the campground and they get everything parked and they unhook and they go to dinner and they come back and they're there for 3 or 4 days, unless they use the campground washing machines and stuff, that the camper starts smelling, because you got all those dirty clothes in there and it's hot all day and they're out all day and it's just. And that in and of itself isn't a big deal. You can do your laundry. You can put in some cedar shavings or what the fuck ever, but you still got to clean that shit up when you get home. And I taunt them all. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do it today. I'm going to call them up and be like, hey man, where are you staying for zombies? And they'll be like, I want to stay in the RV, obviously. And I'm like, yeah, it sucks, man. I'm sorry. I'm going to stay at this hotel. It's going to be cool.
Grand Design. That's their toy hauler. Grand Design. It's a Grand Design. So
but I just prefer to just walk out the front fucking door. I like, that way I have a rental car, or I can just walk over to wherever that I need to go to. Yeah. And I don't have to worry about parking anything. I don't have to worry about any of those things. And so for me, I get it. If you have that mentality of you just want everything kind of on your own terms and, go where you want, leave when you want, all that kind of, I totally get it.
It's the freedom of it. Yeah. And that's like us, with vacation stuff. Like if we're going to the beach, we're on the beach. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want to be across the road. I got kids, well, they're not kids, but they're young adults now. I still don't want to be across the road. I want access to the beach, either we'll get a place, a condo, or we'll get a hotel. And, I want the amenities there. I want to know that, all that stuff. I mean, that's the, I want walking distance to food. I want walking distance to certain things, because I do have certain tags I can park handicap. So I get the luxury of park, but I can't, but I don't. You know what I mean? Once we're there, we usually don't, unless we're going to an event or some out on the night. We usually walk. If we're on the beach, we walk to, to the restaurants. We like to walk. We love to walk the beach. My kids are not little anymore. Like I said, they're adults, 20, 24.
I get it.
So we enjoy
For
it.
me, I just prefer the hotel. I just prefer, because what happens is I get done. I'm there 5-6 days. I throw everything back in my suitcase and I just walk out the door. I don't clean shit. I don't care about the towels.
You ever leave a tip? We usually do. We'll drop a tip.
I have it, but I don't as much anymore because more and more hotels are not cleaning daily.
Wow.
If you're there if I book for 3 days, and this actually annoyed the shit out of me when I was in Texas. I was there for 3 or 4 days and I kept wondering when they were going to, like the first night I had pizza or something because I got in late. I don't normally eat pizza, but I did. And the entire rest of the time I was in there, the whole room smelled like pizza because they weren't cleaning the damn room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell? So it was annoying, but it's a small thing. It's a little thing, but I really don't like, I don't like the options. Now, if it were just me and I was traveling across country, I could do a camper, no problem. But my preference is always going to be to either, is probably always going to be just do a hotel. And as cheap as they are now, if you have any kind of club membership or depending on what credit card you use, or
there's always points somewhere or another.
There's something somewhere to save you a few bucks on your hotel.
Yeah.
But I get it. I totally get the camper life. I totally, I would, I've owned a couple of different campers. I had a converted bus for a while, and a bunch of other stuff. So, I get it. I'm just not at that stage. And I think a lot of people buy into those thinking they're going to use them so much. And then as a matter of fact, there's a guy down the street from me right now, and he bought a pretty nice RV, and it's sitting. He had a custom pad poured for his RV camper. It's a camper. And I've never seen that thing move.
Well, like Tootie said, NASCAR, you take certain people take it out once, twice a year, maybe. Yeah. Is it worth it? You know what I mean? Or is it worth? Now I've seen other people, they'll rent an RV. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I was about to say that. So when I go to somewhere, like when we went to COTA, Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, and I had some meetings down there, and I took the race trailer, and that's it. So I had an event company come out and put up a big awning in my parking space because I get so much space for how many cars.
Yeah.
And then so they put up a big awning because I brought a 20. What trailer did I bring? 28 foot, maybe 30 foot, something like that. I brought a small car hauler, car trailer, enclosed trailer. One car, not two. Normally I brought the 53 foot trailer that holds 2 cars and a bunch of other shit, but I didn't. And so we had a pickup truck and the little trailer. That's it. So we get there, lock it, the awning's there, and we have a camper there. And we rent the camper by the day. The service brings it out, park it there. They park it there, they stock it, and they just go away. And we work out of it all weekend, live out of it all. We don't actually live out of it, but we have people there all weekend, in and out. And then I just call them up Monday morning and say, come get your camper. And they come get it, and that's the end of it. So although I think maybe I might have actually turned it in, I may have actually taken it back that time. But at that trip to COTA, the second trip, I don't remember what it is. But it just works out that's a good way to do things for me. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
Not like everybody. That's
like the vendors, the rallies and stuff like, hey, I've got this, 46 foot or 28 foot. Mm-hmm. So they already have it when you get to the vendor area, which ones you're going to be in, because you have such a big, vendor hauling trailer and all that. Because now a lot of these vendors, they just pull up and their trailer just flips open and they got all their stuff and and they pull their awnings out, they do their oil change, whatever they do, their stuff.
My race trailer was like that.
Yeah. So
my race trailer was like that pretty good.
Just pull up in a van and throw up a tent. Then they got their their sales stuff.
Economic cost. That sounds like my man Anson Knowles.
Okay, DOJ and ATF hold press conference on charges after ATF regulations. Yeah, there's a lot of crap going on in this news crap, man. We got
the news today was just all. I mean, I only picked a few things, and it was
all over the place.
Crazy.
Trump gave a speech, took questions earlier.
Jim Comey got arrested again or indicted again.
Yeah, they out of North Carolina, or was it Virginia, North Virginia, or North Carolina, somewhere they indicted him out of. And that's what they said. Well, the charges, we don't know. Last time they didn't. This is the second time.
Well, also, you got the sealed charges, aren't they? Aren't they sealed?
Yeah, I think so. Then you got the Kings in New York. Charles is in New York, visiting 9/11 spot. His wife is doing something silly, I think, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't pay attention to them. They're nothing to me. I don't care. Even though they're the biggest landowners, that. I mean, they got massive. Privately, not more than anybody in the world, but publicly, they hold more land, I think, than anybody. I'm not for sure. Last time I seen they did. There's just a lot of stuff. There's so much stuff to try to keep on. It fries my brain sometimes because. You got so many different outlets pushing so much propaganda and stuff, and then they're like, "Well, this and that. This person did this, and this person should they be held accountable?" I think that's one of the issues. Everybody keeps listening to the media.
Well, yeah, I said that earlier. I kind of launched a show with that. I mean, it's like you've all heard this, and then I had a Sage come in here who claims to have been a Trumper first round, and now he's an anti-Trumper. And I was talking about how Trump has changed the entire way that the economy is going to work, and based on this oil stuff. And he's like, "You're wrong," and I'm like, "Okay, prove it." And he couldn't. He left. He took his toys. He left. He didn't want to play anymore. He knew he was wrong. I told him, "Look, if you can show that, just put the article in the chat. I'll show it."
Well, I had another guy arguing about the gas prices. They're going up. I'm like, dude, my town has got 3 gas stations. That's it. We got a Shell, Marathon, and a Murphy's. Here's the thing. The highest it got was $3.89. Now it's back down to $3.68. It went down.
Oil is either or about to push $117 a barrel. That's pretty high.
Yeah, it is.
But we'll see. We may or may not see the market reflect that. But
I'm saying when Trump started this Iran stuff, it went up to the highest point in my town, $3.89, and now last week it started going back down. So it's back down to $3.68. It's dropping a little bit, but that's the thing. It hasn't reached $4 where I'm at. That's better than what Biden was doing. Right. Well, that's for sure. Gas taxes and there's a lot more stuff that goes into it than just we're going here, so gas automatically goes out the roof. And now California, I've been reading where people are complaining, saying they pushed the EV so much that the gas taxes is of course so high, but that there's so many less people driving, there's so many EV drivers out there. Now they're saying, I heard an article saying they're going to start taxing the EV drivers to make up for the gas taxes. It's like, okay, wait a minute. You pushed everybody to go to electric vehicles, and now you're going to tax the people that actually went to electric vehicles, gas tax, when they're not even using gas because you're not making enough money in the gas tax. So that make sense. I think it's crazy, California is beautiful, but the people or the politics and all the regulations and all that stuff, it's sickening. The wokies.
So I don't know if this is passed yet, but this is true. I believe California is implementing a mileage tax on everyone because of the EVs. It's not like I didn't say that was coming.
It's
So,
insane. There's no way I would move to that place. I don't care how much money I had. There's no way. There's no way. Hell, I don't want to leave I don't want to go above the Tennessee line if I don't have to. I don't even want to go into Kentucky anywhere. I do
Kentucky's not
because
too
I enjoy
bad.
traveling, but I don't go on business. You know, I don't want to go to any, you know, I just don't. I wouldn't move anywhere. I love where I'm at. And if I want to go somewhere, I'll just go stay a few days or a week, whatever I want to do. So,
Yeah, for sure.
All right,
we
man.
did
I've been
know it
on
was
here long
coming.
enough. I got to go round up something.
I'm actually about to get out of here. I got to return some phone calls. I apologize, guys. Normally I'd stay till 3, but we're close enough, and I need to. I got to make some phone calls and do some stuff before I head out for the afternoon. I'm going to raid you over to Jake Varr. That's right, our buddy Jake. And you guys will have fun over there. They're watching Andrew versus Owen Schroyer.
Oh, you mean the reddish, long hair looking dude that likes to push propaganda? He came from.
Schroyer is okay. I think he's a J6er that got. You know, he's lost faith in Trump.
Jones, didn't he? Yeah. He used to work for
Andrew's setting him straight. You guys go over there, have fun watching that, interact with him. You know, I really appreciate everybody. I appreciate the engagement today. And in the meantime, guys, I may be back tonight. I know I don't normally stream on Wednesday nights, but I might. And we'll see. We'll see if it happens. If I don't, I'll see you tomorrow for the day shift, and if I do, then I'll see you tonight. And just watch your notifications and come hang out. As always, guys, be cool. Wear the glasses if you need them. And my kid's gonna wave bye now.